guys, it's Ben from Brick Studios here, and in today's video I'm going to be taking a look at my custom LEGO fire brush truck and ATV. So starting with the brush truck, it's pretty simple. It's built on the standard LEGO car chassis, and it uses the standard pieces that go along with that chassis on the front end. But on the back, I switched it up a little bit. Instead of using those normal fender pieces, I actually built my own sort of bed, because I tried to use the standard fender pieces, but that ended up raising the bed of the truck up too high, and it didn't look right. So I ditched those, and I was able to lower the bed down a little bit and get them closer to the wheels, and I think that looks a lot better. I ended up using cheese slope pieces to create that sort of fender and that arch, that wheel arch, and I think it looks pretty good. For the bed of the truck, I used, I'm not sure what they're called, but I used these white and red pieces, which I also used on the ATV and the trailer. On the trailer, they're fence pieces, but that looks pretty good. And the rest of the truck is fairly simple. It does have doors, some emergency lights, and that's about it. Now on to the ATV. So this one is a little bit more complicated than the truck. I started with the 4x4 base plate that it's built on, and then for the wheels I used this design that I've used before, and I used it on the trailer as well for this build. I take two studs and sandwich a tire in between them, and then the nice part about it is you can switch out the color of the studs and even put smooth ones like I did in the Moon MOC a little while back. So for this one I also added a third stud to spread out the tires a little bit more, and I think it looks pretty good. In the front of it, in the front of the ATV, we have a small brush guard, headlights, and that same hood piece that I used on the brush truck as well. To the back of the ATV, the small bed, again I use those same pieces that I used on the truck. It makes the bed look a little bit more open, but also gives it the wheels that a bed should have. And I didn't put any sort of arch pieces or anything like that on the back of the ATV, because a lot of ATVs, they kind of just end at the back to allow the bed to perhaps dump or something like that, which this can't do, but it at least looks a little bit more realistic. Now on to the roll cage. So I had seen this design before using skeleton arms to create a sort of windshield effect, and I thought it looked great on an ATV, since a lot of ATVs don't even have a full windshield, they just have a roll cage. So I decided to give it a try myself. So on the back, in the bed of the ATV, there's two black studs with holes in them where the poles can be inserted, and then you can have, I put skeleton arms going across for the sort of roof, and then those attached to the front windshield piece. Now for the front windshield, I use these slightly bent skeleton arms to achieve that sort of curved look that a front roll cage would have, and then those are clipped right onto the hood with these small clip pieces. And I was even able to fit on some emergency lights using these clip pieces, and I think it turned out really good, and it captures the look of a roll cage pretty good as well. And last we have the trailer. So for the trailer, I used the same wheel technique that I used on the ATV, just different tires. And I also set the wheels in a stud so that they were in line with the trailer. Some of my other trailers, the wheels were actually jutting out, which isn't very realistic. But these ones are set in, which I think looks really good. There are also some ramps on the back of the trailer to obviously get the ATV into it. And then for the rails of the trailer, which these types of trailers would have, I used these small fence pieces, which look, I think, pretty good. And other than, obviously, the hitch, there's not much else. It's a relatively simple trailer, but it gets the job done, and I think it turned out pretty good. And that's it. That's my brush truck and ATV. I actually had a lot of fun making these. I used some new, different techniques that I haven't used before, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye.